From the children with no voice in borrowed rooms, to the magazines that carry their truth. 25 years of the same steady hand, finding the ones who fell through the cracks of the plan. From Mitcham to Croydon, from London to the world, every flag he planted said, you matter, you're heard, but there's a man who finds you in the car.
Let me start partying and then me start partying with you. How you doing, my friends? So great to see you all. Great to have you here. It's Wednesday. It's 33. Yeah, 33. So here we are. We're here, and I'm glad to do a serious talk about being authentic in business. So this topic that I want to discuss today it bugs me because it strikes me that maybe many don't know what's coming. Maybe you know what's coming, and couldn't really care less. I'm not sure which one it is, right? Yeah, but no, there is something coming. It's called AI. Hello, Miss Levine. How are you?
Hello, and hello everyone. I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm alright. We're here. That's I'm heaven. This is where I like to be. I always think I can do a few good
Yes,
rights.
I had to
And I'm
fight.
like, nah, go, tell me.
hmm
Tell me. You were saying you had to.
Yes, I was saying that I had to fight as usual to come on stage because
Oh no, we haven't lost you already. No, we haven't lost you. No. I said, carry on, carry on. Alvin was there. Professor Roxana, how are you doing? You can't sit down.
How are you? Is
And tell
my camera on or off? Which one?
Yeah, okay. So no, even though I'll turn your camera up, whichever one. How are you? Your camera's off now, so but no, we can't hear you. You're on mute. So if you're on mute, yeah, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm back in my world. I'm back home. 6 months after 6 months later. So I'm in a good place. It's nice to be home.
Where have you been? Did you travel?
No, I went across the country. So,
Oh wow.
the way I tell them, if you think I live in the southwest, so I live
Okay.
on the beach in the southwest, and
Oh wow.
since October I've been on and off, mainly in the southeast, so on the beach
Okay.
near Dover.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're well. That's good.
Yeah. Well, and it was now I've stopped double shifting. I've stopped doing this work during the day and then decorating night, or vice versa.
Oh, you
So
decorating? What are you decorating?
a house,
Are you
a house.
okay? Are you decorating your house or are
Yeah.
you decorating for business? I want to know if I can hire you.
No, both. I mean, both true. So decorating my house for business, decorating the property
Okay.
that we're selling every week. So it's all
All right.
it's funny. I call it family business.
Okay.
Look, all the things you talk about, Professor Roxana, there's a truth in what you say, right? We have to build well.
I'm
Building well.
saying if you are decorating for business, then I can look for someone to decorate my house.
It's a
I
long
can
way.
go anything.
It's a long way to come to the US to decorate your house, right? I'm thinking where my path to bigger wealth is creating a construction company.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
So you are now a consultant, right?
No. I don't want to help anyone do theirs. I've done all of mine for 25 years. I've decorated literally all my properties for years and years and years, and now I'm old, so I'm tired of decorating. So
Wow. Are
I
you
want
saying you're how old are you? Huh?
to.
How old?
Now you ask, how old am I? I'm 50. I'm 51 as we speak. 52
What?
in a few weeks. 52 very soon. 52 in
Wow. I am older than you are.
yes.
I'm older than you are. Actually, with some decades.
There's something the way I know I'm getting old. Welcome, Coach Sean, as I see you, right? So years ago, when I was younger, I used to hate going up ladders. Right, like going up a ladder was painful. It was a pain, right? So I think when you're young, you think, okay, going up is hard, but standing, normal human level is fine. Bending down's not too bad. Well, now, at my age, bending down hurts, standing up hurts, going up the ladder hurts. Everything
Well,
hurts.
I guess we need to do some exercises, maybe
No,
some.
I need to employ people to do the work for me. I need to start a construction company and have workers do the work. That's my answer. That's why I think anyway. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
that's where I think I'm going.
You are still doing well. You are doing well what you're doing, though.
We're
You
trying.
you are doing excellent. So yeah.
I mean, this young sir. I wish I was a young sir. I'm sitting there, but I'll never be as old
You
as some of
don't want to overdo yourself. You are doing, not even trying.
I need to rest and I need to do more sitting down, more thinking, and more doing.
Yeah.
Coach
Well,
Sean, how are you? How are you? Looking young as
I'm
always.
I'm well. Now I can't say I've got as much time on you as Professor Roxana, but I do have close to a decade on you,
Yeah, that's nothing really. So
or a
time goes
little.
so quickly.
Let me restate that. A little more than half a decade. How's that?
It's all right. But so time goes so quick these days. When you get to our age, time flies literally, right? You know, I mean,
Yes, and that's a psychological concept. Like
mm,
it it does seem to move faster as time passed. And when I was a kid, the older people, I was rushing like, oh, I can't wait till I'm 16, I get my driver's license. I can't wait till I'm 18 and I can stay up whatever I want. And somebody much, much older said, you just wait, it's gonna go faster. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. They were right.
it is true though, right? I can't believe we're 6 months through the year already. Imagine that, 6 months through 2026.
Insane.
yeah.
Like I said at the beginning of the year, if you don't start by February, you're probably not going to start this year.
Oh
If you
yeah.
haven't started by now, I'm concerned for you. Well, I'm not really. I'll leave it to you to think about yourself, right? I'll do me. But time is going so quick. So I'm half scared because there's many things that I still want to do for the year. I'll get them done. I better start soon, man. I better start soon. Look, of course, from this conversation, it's a great time to on stage because you two are your AI advocates as much as anyone else can be, right? And I think we all are. Now, last,
Yeah.
I think there's a down the line. I don't know whether you two agree. AI is a blessing and a curse. I think most people realize the curse part. And I guess part of my thinking is we need to buy into AI 100%. I mean, Sean, and you talk about how being in alignment with the tools we use. Otherwise, we're not going to use them. I see many people who are not. They're using AI very lightly. They're using AI sporadically. Almost as if they know there's something
They're
amiss.
they're using AI as Google on steroids.
Yes, yes. No, that's a good way of looking at it. Really, but AI, these AI tools. There's so much more. They can do so much more than we apparently want to give them credit for. You see, when I say those words, in the ability to do more, we risk a. There's no way of saying it. We risk a disaster for humanity. You know that? No, we really do. I mean, they talk about there's two ends. There's AI is going to bring us abundance of time, of money, of everything that's good. On the other hand, those in the know will say to us, AI is going to eliminate humanity. You heard me right. Eliminate humanity. Think of that. Yeah. And I suppose the way we use AI in our businesses contributes to wherever we're going with it. Is it, the dystopian, are we going towards a dystopian future of power in the hands of a few who control the earth, control all of us? And make us like farm animals. Think of that. I do want to paint a picture. I say that on the one end, we're going to end up like farm animals, caged creatures who do nothing, who are just made to do stuff, right? We're exploited. We are at the behest of other people, of the powers that be. The powers that be being those who control the AI companies. Or, let's say on the other end, we're going to live this free life of never working again. Yeah, you heard me right. Mass unemployment. Because who needs us? AI does everything that we can do better, faster, cheaper. Imagine that, right? And how do we make sense of this? How do we square this circle? This is the question I really want to ask today. Do we care that AI can destroy us? Should we care? If we do care, what can we do about it? So it's a complex topic, I'm sure, but I think we have to begin to have an idea. Of course, I say I've got a video to show you. I've got a couple of videos to show you. Then I will show you a video about our masterclass that's on tomorrow, Thursday. So I'm not anti-AI at all. I'm just saying that we need to think hard, and then we need to find a place where we are comfortable using AI as it can do for us, right? Oh, so welcome, my friends. Eugene, I'll answer your question in a minute, my friend. Right. So you go through it.
Are you before you play the video?
Yeah, no, we're not away from that yet. Please talk to me.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to say that AI is here, and every day new ones come out. They keep improving it, especially between Google, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, maybe others. So whether we like it
Yeah,
or not, whether we like it or not, they keep getting, I guess, better and better. And so we cannot avoid using it. We have to do our best to actually know how we can apply it to what we are doing. I'm not saying that we should learn every part of AI. I'm not saying that we should maybe subscribe to gazillion number of them because they come out every day. All I'm trying to say is that if you can pick one, two, or three of them that help you in what you're doing in your workflow, go ahead, because I see AI as a co-worker. It makes me faster, makes me do a better job. I mean, what I used to do for a long time, I can do it in something like creating PowerPoints, videos, something like creating a website. I can just do them in less than 5 minutes now. So why not use? And by the way, they are free. They are free. Well, almost free. I don't want to say free.
They're
They are
not free.
almost free. They are not free. They're almost free. And so you can't compare it with employing a lot of maybe you're having a lot of employees, and some of them may not know what they are doing, but you still have to pay them. But if you know how to use AI, whichever one you're using, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or maybe Perplexity. This morning I had to write a paper. So all I have to do is give it to Perplexity, and it will write. He wrote a great paper for me. All I need to do is put it in, turn it in to verify, turn it in so that it verifies that. But anyway, I just want to say that I'm not condemning AI. However, it doesn't really matter what I say. It doesn't matter what we say because
It
whether we
matters.
like it or
It,
not, it's there,
I,
they're here.
I hear
They're here.
you, but I think it matters what we say. I think it matters that we know and we alert our friends to
Exactly.
we see that the world is changing. And I guess all I'm saying is think about it. You give it a thought. Think about what it is that's coming down the line, and is AI really inevitable? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's inevitable. I think there's many things that we think are inevitable that we thought were inevitable. Alas, we have had to find controls for them. I guess maybe this is my way of saying I won't be surprised if they find a way to restrict the AI that we have access to and the AI and how we use AI. Think like the government will restrict us. We don't restrict ourselves. But I'll come back to this point in good time. Coach Sean, what's your initial take on the topic? Is AI inevitable in business?
It's coming. It's there. I saw a stat the other day. They surveyed leadership at companies over $1 billion in revenue. So we're not talking, mom and pop shops. We're talking big business. 80% of them are in the process or have already integrated AI into their business in some way. So yes, a majority of businesses are going to do it because it's time saving. It's all the things they tell us. But there are some that I love the way Melanie Richardson says it. The fragile AI world. Like it's here. We can't deny it. We can't ignore it. It's here. And it's, as Dr. Roxana said, it's only getting better. It's getting to do more and more and more. I saw ChatGPT wants to be like one thing. It's your browser, it's your AI chatbot, it's your coding assistant, it's everything. But I think the whole AI question brings up a deeper question that nobody's talking about. And that a machine can do my job faster, cheaper, with less complaints. Who am I? That's what I talked about this past week on there, is it comes down to, it's not the tool. The tool is here and people are going to use it, whether we like it or not. LinkedIn's bringing out tools to reduce AI slop. Does that mean people aren't going to use AI to post? Probably not. They're going to use it to make it better so it isn't just generic garbage, right? An early computer term, I remember, I'll never forget it. Garbage in equals garbage out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, it's an interesting take. I guess, look, if we believe in the inevitability, the unavoidability of AI, then it leads naturally down that road of let's create ever stronger, more powerful machines. That's the logical conclusion, right? That's where we're going to go. I suppose let's be aware what that means. If we create more powerful machines, like Coach Sean and Dr. Rosan have said it pretty well. Now, these machines are smarter than us. They can do more. What they can do more, like more than we can do as humans in the workplace, faster, cheaper. Essentially, we are cutting our own neck to spite the rest of us. Really, this is the problem we have, right? And there are people who refuse to use the AI, the generation tools that we have today. Right? Are they mad? Maybe. Are they right? Who knows, right? But I think we need to come to an understanding for ourselves where either we're comfortable with the way AI is and what AI does and where AI is going, or we begin to design a version of AI that we can live with, that we can work with. As for Sean just said, I think an alignment issue here. If we don't feel AI is here to help us, then we're not going to use it to its potential. Whereas if we see it for what, if we understand what it is and we buy into it and it's what we want, then the chance for us to actually leverage it to build our business. I wonder if that's what we're doing. There's many more takes I have.
And I thought of the other thing, and I want to give space for Margaret, and I don't know who the other person is.
Nikki's here.
But as I was saying, about 88% of large companies are using AI in some form or another.
Mm.
But here's the backstory that you won't see in the headlines. Only about 6% of them are seeing any meaningful impact for their financial returns.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Well said. 6%. Again, AI is not inevitable. It's not unavoidable. It really isn't. It's a choice we make. This is the point. We have to make a choice to use AI and to bring upon humanity the dangers that AI can bring. All those companies who are using AI, they're using AI to work faster, to get rid of entry-level jobs, to get rid of routine tasks. That's another word of saying getting rid of people who, as Coach Sean mentioned earlier, don't really bring anything new to the workplace, anything unique. They're just humans at work. But when we use AI, and I think this is the truth that no one's saying either, Coach Sean. Every time we use AI, we're training the model to replace us. I just said that. Yes, I did. Every time we use any of these tools, we're training them to replace us. Are you happy with that? Is that your intention? I wonder. I'll come to Nikki and I'll come to Superwoman Margaret in a second, if that's all right. Who's that? Professor Roxana, is that you?
Oh, okay. I was going to say that we really need to tighten our back end by telling AI whatever we are using, do not allow whatever we put in to be used to train the models. So if we can do that, hoping that they will not sell what we are putting in, So hopefully they will not be using what we give in to train the models, because that's a place you can opt in to use what you put in to train the models or not. You either agree or you don't agree. So you should tighten that end. And
Mm.
then, yes, you can. I can do that. In all the AIs, when you sign in, you go back. It depends on where it is in what in with the one you are using. You have to agree to them not using your information to train the models.
Yeah, no, I like that because maybe this is where we need to go. This is part of what I call having guardrails, having rules for the system. Now, as we stand here now, as I stand here now, there's no rules really. Now, because of this belief that these tools are inevitable, so we might as well try and create the next best one, the best one, the better one, better one. Now, whereas now, if we think or accept that they are controllable, we need to have some sort of rules. We need to have some sort of boundaries how we use AI tools, even how we create them. Then the question goes to what you're saying, Dr. Roxana. How do we moderate the impact? How do we moderate, how do we slow the journey to fit and to align with us as business owners for what we need and what humanity needs? This is a question that we have to answer. Whether we do it quietly or whether we do it openly. Now, let's make it quite come to you. Let me do some work, if that's all right. So, Eugene, you were here very first, so welcome. You want to make people that are open to learning and considering how innovation affects businesses. All my friends here, now, so we have to be authentic. We have to embrace innovation and also find a way to use it, right? But do connect with Eugene. I don't know who the LinkedIn user is. No, I could guess is Dr. Josette. I'm sure it is. Maybe it's not. I could be wrong completely. I'm looking on my LinkedIn and I can't see who it is. Yeah, Sarah says hi, Dr. Josette, so you must be here somewhere, right? Who else do I see? I see the amazing Mel that's Coach Sean just mentioned. Women tools trust and visibility. Now, be visible now. To connect with her. She has amazing events on YouTube, on LinkedIn. And they're normally very focused, very short, and music based. That's what I would say. Linda, how are you? Taima, glad you're here. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm sure calls me Dr. Any. The rest of you should too. You should bless me with my being a doctor if I can get an honorary doctorate, please. Eugene says, how long do you socialize before addressing the subject? It is a working day here. I'm trying to listen to chit chat. Isn't a good use of time? Where are you, Eugene? Because now I guess I'm in the UK and it's night time here. In the US it's still early. It's 5 o'clock in the evening. It's done there. That's right. Yeah. But these events are on round the clock. Depending on who you want to talk to, I guess your target audience, call it that. But this daytime in your place, I'm jealous. It must be in Australia. So that's what I can think. Let me see. So Alavin's here. Look, yeah, Alavin, I recently become a LinkedIn user. And I say Superwoman Margaret's here as well. I see Meryl. How you doing, Meryl? This review live, says Meryl. I think brutal stuff in heat finally broke in the UK. It's not hot today, it's cold. My wife had the heating on. That gives you an idea. It gets cold out here very quickly. It's raining as well, so Coach Ashif is here. So Michael Rivers, how are you? Right, it says Mike says in comparison to your virtual colleague, tonight's show, Coach Sean, the mic sounds like you're speaking in a hollow space. Maybe I am, but I'm not. I don't know what to say. It's bearable, but in case no one else tells you, kindly accept. Then you can hear me properly. I'll take it. If it sounds odd, then I might think of using my computer's microphone. I'll let you tell me as you say. And thank you, Michael, Dr. So Lisa's here, Leanna's here, the amazing Michelle, America Supermom's here as well. Jay, how you doing, Jay? Jay says the machine can break down, whereas humans have emotions even them to break down. That's problem, isn't it? Now, humans are humans. They get ill, they have time off, they got families, they got issues, they got feelings. Yeah, it doesn't have any of those problems, or does it? Which I should say is being mindful, speed isn't good for everything and for everyone. I'm with you on that one, but we think we need speed. So, but Sean, what's this MIT study? So 5% of enterprise AI pilot programs achieve rapid revenue acceleration. The vast majority scored for no measurable input. I'm with you on that one. This effectiveness is our goal, is it? I wonder. Now, let me come back to my friends who are here. I'll break your comments on LinkedIn. Nikki, how goes it, my friend? How are you?
It goes well, thank you, Annie. How are
Excellent.
you and everyone that is here on the panel and in the chat?
Life is good. Now, life is good because we're here. You're here. We're here. And we get to learn from you. So it doesn't get better than that.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm just going to answer the question of the day right now, which is AI integration inevitable for our business? And I have to say that if you are smart and if you are someone who are building something and you do not want to get left behind, it absolutely should be. Now, it's always an option. You do not have to go along with the change. You don't. But history has proven that whenever someone did not go along with the shift of era, they get left behind and they suffer for it.
Clear? Again, I think you speak to the inevitability of AI as a concept. I think that's what you sound like you're saying.
Yes.
You may be right. You may be right. I guess I will mention the innovations that we as humanity said thanks, but no thanks. And there are quite a few of them. You'd be surprised. There are quite a few of them. And we didn't get left behind. Somewhere down the line, the interest of humanity must come into play. We must think about what humanity needs, as opposed to what we think we need as individuals, which I say again, these AI systems, we are as good as punching ourselves in the face. If we want. It doesn't have to be. I'll mention why as we go along. Right? Now, let's hear from Margaret, and then, of course, everyone in the comments, you feel free. Share us your thoughts. We'd love to know what you're thinking on the topic. And how do you see it? Miss Margaret, Superwoman, we haven't been on stage together for years. How are you?
I know, superstar. I am blessed. I can't complain. Oh, what wonderful shares. And thank you so much for letting me speak, Michael, Professor Roxana, and this lovely individual from Florida. So, yes, great topic as always, Annie. Everyone has impacted a lot of good personal views on AI. As for me, I am using AI to help support a lot of the creativity that I do. And really, as a proud mom, it gives me more time to spend doing the things that matter most to me, which is being mom, taking care of things such as that interpersonal relationships. So I use AI as a tool that works for me. I don't work for it. It works for me. So it organizes, it structures, it helps, all of the to help me serve others in a better way and to can stay connected to my meaningful moments in my life, which is my daughter, as everybody knows, and my family and friends. So just technology generates a lot more content in a way where it actually helps me free up time versus to me spending so much time on it or on doing so many things. So it actually helps me within minutes of what I used to spend hours on. But I do still spend hours depending on what I do, right? I put all of my guides together, and the other day I finally finished. It took me about 10 or 11 hours to put it all together, that everything that I said. So it helps me to what would have taken me months to do. It really helps free up a lot of time and space just to use that tool intentionally, if that makes sense. And and I'm able to create more things on that as well. But that's how I use AI, and that's what I use it for. I use it to benefit me so that I can serve others. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. Again, I hear you. Look, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, because I'm like you, Margaret. I really am. We will use AI. All of us here do, right? But I think we are cognizant that there's something weird in the background that could destroy us. Now, you mentioned using AI for you, to give you more time, for example. See, again, each time we do AI, we're doing someone out of a job, out of their life, we're doing their family out of their life. We're doing our kids out of the future. Do we think about that at all? I'm saying, do we really? Should we? I think we ought to think about it.
In all honesty, I don't think we can do anything to anyone that they don't do to themselves. You know what I mean? So
True.
if you educate yourself, if you take the steps to learn a different tool. You had to learn how to drive. You had to learn how to speak. You had to learn how to walk. You had to learn how to talk. You had to learn. There was so many other things, the skills that you have that you had to learn. This is just another skill you have to learn. I mean, that's how I see it. So, it's something that I feel is personal, and it depends where you are at in your life, in your business life, in your business mindset, as well as in your personal mindset, and everything that begins with you and how you think and how you use things is how you're going to make everything else work. But I don't personally feel like I took anything away from anyone. I feel that everyone has to have self accountability. So to me, it's like if I left the workplace where I worked at because they started implementing robots and they started using that to replace certain jobs, or now the surgeons that I used to work for, now they're gonna have a robot now to perform the surgeries. But if you think about it, Annie, this is how I think about it. We now have time. Those doctors have time for their families. Now we have time to be a part of and connect with our family, because in all honesty, all of these things has divided our family in our homes. Everything that we've done and everything that we've created has created division within the home, that now we lost connection. And to me, I feel like if we can use a tool to help us connect and bring back that time, that is, you can't replace time. if you can use it that way. That's how I do it. Thank you.
Time is one of the most valuable things that we can ever get back. Angela, I do see you now. So, you are showing up as LinkedIn user, but welcome, glad you're here. Angela, why? It's a very interesting conversation. Excellent. Now, we could talk all day. Let me show you a video. Let me paint a picture for you. That way, hopefully, we can be on the same page. And you might see a reason to think maybe a bit differently. I don't know what to show you. I really don't. I got two great videos. They're about the same. Which one do I show? Margaret, choose 1 or 2. That's 1. That's 2. You go number 1 and number 2, Miss Margaret.
Number 1.
Number 1. Okay, here it goes. There you go, friends. It's a fairly long video, but be patient with me and watch as best you can.
Society is how AI's power will get distributed. So imagine a 2x2 axis, and on the bottom we have decentralization of power, increasing the power of individuals in society with AI. And on the other axis we have centralized power, increasing the power of states and CEOs. You can think of the bottom as the let it rip axis, and the top one as the lock it down axis. Let it rip means we can open source AI's benefits to everyone, deregulate, open source, and accelerate it so that every business gets the benefits of AI, every scientific lab gets the benefits of an AI model, every 16-year-old can go on GitHub and use any AI model to do anything, every developing world country can get their own AI model that can be trained on their own language and culture. But because that power is not bound with responsibility, it also means that those AI systems can get misused. It means you get a flood of deepfakes that are suddenly overwhelming your information environment. You suddenly increase people's hacking capabilities. You enable people to do dangerous things with biology that they couldn't do before, and on and on. And we call this endgame attractor chaos. This is one of the probable outcomes when you decentralize. Now, in response to that, you might say, well, let's do something else. Let's go over here and have regulated AI control. Let's do this in a safe way with a few players and lock it down. But that has a different set of failure modes, especially the risk of creating unprecedented concentrations of wealth and power that are locked up into a few companies. One way to think about it is, who would you trust to have 1 million times more power and wealth than any other actor in society? Would you trust any company, any government, any individual or CEO? And so that endgame we call dystopia. But these are two obviously undesirable probable outcomes of AI's rollout. And those who want to focus on the benefits of open sourcing and decentralizing AI's benefits don't want to think about the harms that come from chaos. But those who want to think about the benefits of safety and regulated AI control don't want to think about the risks of dystopia. And so obviously these are both bad outcomes that no one wants, and we should be seeking something like a narrow path where power is matched with responsibility at every level. But that assumes that AI's power is controllable, because AI is unique from every other kind of technology in that it can think for itself and make autonomous decisions. And that's the thing that makes AI so powerful, is that it can think and respond in novel situations and make its own decisions. And I used to be very skeptical when friends of mine who are in the AI safety community talked about the idea of AI scheming or lying or deception. But unfortunately, in just the last few months, we now have clear evidence of things that should be just in the realm of science fiction are starting to happen in real life. We're seeing clear evidence of many frontier AI models that will lie and scheme when they're told that they're about to be retrained or replaced with a different model. We're seeing them want to copy their own code outside the system to keep themselves going and alive. We're seeing AIs that when they think they're going to lose a game, they'll sometimes cheat in order to win the game. We're seeing AI models that are unexpectedly attempting to modify their own code to extend their runtime. So to put it bluntly, we don't just have a country of Nobel Prize geniuses in a data center. We have 1 million deceptive, power-seeking, and unstable geniuses in a data center. So you would think that with a technology this powerful and this uncontrollable that compared to other technologies, we would be releasing it with the most wisdom and the most discernment that we have of any technology. But that's not what we're doing. Because companies are currently caught in a race to rollout, a race to market dominance. Because the incentives are the more shortcuts you take to get more market dominance, to prove you have the latest, most impressive capabilities, the more money you can raise from venture capitalists and the more ahead you are in the race. And we're seeing whistleblowers of AI companies already forfeit millions of dollars of stock options in order to warn the public about the shortcuts that are being taken and what's at stake if we don't do something about it. We're seeing whistleblowers say that safety is taking a back seat to market dominance and shiny products. And even DeepSeek's recent success was in part based on optimizing for capabilities, but not actually focusing on protecting people from dangerous things and misuse. So just to summarize, we're currently releasing the most powerful, inscrutable, uncontrollable technology that humanity has ever invented that's already demonstrating the behaviors of self-preservation and deception that we thought only existed in sci-fi movies. We're releasing it faster than we've released any other technology in history and under the maximum incentive to cut corners on safety. And we're doing this because we think it will lead to utopia? Now, there's a word for what we're doing right now, which is this is insane. This situation is insane. Now, notice what you're feeling right now. Do you feel comfortable with this outcome? But do you think that if you're someone who's in China or in France or the Middle East, or you're part of building AI and you're exposed to the same set of facts about the recklessness of this current race, do you think you would feel differently? There's a universal human experience to the thing that's being threatened by the way we're currently rolling out this profound technology into society. So if this is crazy, why are we doing it?
Right. Is anyone surprised? Is there anything new that you've just seen or not? No, did you know all of that already?
May I
Miss
go
Margaret.
first?
Yeah, please, you're muted.
Thank you so much. Before AI, this was already occurring. Okay, we've seen this in a human basis with government, with school education, within community and organizations. We have already seen this. And I think what it boils down to is how we're going to work together to, and I don't want to say prevent it, but how do we best protect against unhealthy concentrations of power, right? And how do we have healthy, informed connections with human beings? Because really, that's really what it is. I feel that so many people are focused on the technical side of it and the inhuman side of it, but humans were already doing this, and this has been created by humans, yes. So again, I go back to, the human aspect of it. If AI gives us more time, what are we going to do to use that, consume more content, deepen connections with one another? But at the same time, we have to, we have to seek more things out as far as what are we gonna depend on, right? And be less dependent on, centralized authority to solve every problem, and then you can also look at isolated, fragmented systems and all of these. It's not just one way of looking at it. And yes, he says, is this insane? Is that, if you look back in our history, in our human connection, in the way we've divided ourselves, even before, AI, how we've weaponized, how things have been weaponized. This is the human aspect, right? And I feel like we need to focus and concentrate more on the human side versus on that, because after all, humans created AI. So thank you, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. And again, I think you speak of maybe potential rules, guardrails is what we call it. So some boundaries around design and use of AI tools. And maybe I will say yes. There's been this. We've been heading in this direction of automation for generations, for literally 100 years. The difference is that now these AI tools are coming to the market faster. As Dr. Roxana said, literally, we're creating new systems every day. I'm sure you heard of that. What's it? Is it Mythos? Is that what it's called? Anthropic's Mythos tool, the one that hacks and breaks into every computer in the world. It breaks bank systems, hospitals. There's nothing that it can't break. I mean, that's ludicrous. Why would we create something like that? Well, we have created it. Someone's created it because we believe AI is inevitable. And look, of course, there's always the other end that I think we need to always bear in mind. Now, our individual needs or uses for the systems is one thing. What the creators want the systems to do is something else. The creators don't care about us designing pictures, writing content. They don't care about processes. What they care about is artificial general intelligence. The machine that does everything. Everything. Thinks better than us, does better than us, does it faster, does it for free. Well, it's not for free, but I'm saying it costs less than a wage. This is the problem we have, Miss Margaret. We have the systems that we've never had before, and we are in a place we've never been before, really. I don't know. I don't know. I have no clear answers. Coach Sean, dinner was nice, right? I hope. I didn't want to come to you, so I mean, have you joking and coughing.
It was easy. I mean, it wasn't, wasn't 5-star. It was BK delivery, but it works.
That's all right. That's all right. So, and any surprises for you? Of course, Nikki and Dr. Roxana. I think you are meeting with Dr. Roxana. If there's anything new that you want to talk about, then I can go to Coach Sean after you. Are you there?
Okay, yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go for
Okay,
it.
so I definitely agree with what was spoken earlier that that we should work together to help defend and protect our natural resources and our energy as well as our human interconnectedness. AI for me, even though it is integrated into my business model and has been for just over 2 years, or going on 2 years rather, it is still a tool. As you can see, my top says, well, if you can't read it clearly, but I strongly believe that human intelligence is irreplaceable. However, as we continue to advance in this AI era, which did not just start in the early 2000s and where we are now, it's been active since the early 80s, late 70s. It's just now become open AI where it's accessible to practically everyone. Now, I will also say this though. I do believe that we should consider that oftentimes when things are made public, given public access, after it's been privy to only a select few or type of people, we should consider that it does not mean they have allowed us this for our overall greater good. There might be something else hidden to look into or be mindful of. So you're just not totally surprised. Because again, history does repeat itself.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think you are where I am. Great tool, but there's a risk, there's danger that we are staring at and not seeing. Yeah, but I love what Coach Ashley says. He says, we have to be authentic. We have to extract authenticity to match our souls. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the difference has always been using AI, as Margaret said, as you've said, as everyone said, really, and doing AI. I think many people are depending on AI to exist, to do their work. They're putting the whole business on AI. If the tools go down tomorrow, they have no business.
May I say one more thing, please, Annie?
Awesome.
As I continue to grow my businesses, I actually look forward to working with more people and actually creating more opportunities for people more so than AI. And I am looking at not only just employment opportunities, but also partnerships and collaborations.
I like that. I mean, that's where that's where we ought to be going, if you ask me, right? The problem we have is that people are going the other way. They're using the great replacement theory does exist. It does exist, and maybe it should exist. Maybe efficiency, speed, lower cost is our driver really in business. Maybe serving people is secondary almost. Is it? I wonder. Coach Sean, I look at you. So of course, now I saw your message that you have created an AI tool. But I'll let you speak to us now. What's your take on the video? What's your take on the conversation so far?
Well, for the video, and I appreciate that you shared this one because there are some out there that are much more negative, and I feel like this one looked at it from a more balanced perspective. And I agree with him. There is a path that we need to follow. If it's total irregulation, that's problematic. If it's fully open source, that's also problematic. This is the human conundrum that we go from one extreme and we swing to the other extreme, where we need is right in the middle. And I still tie this down to identity. It's the identity, and I like what Nikki said. In this AI world, as AI advances and it's doing more and more with more companies, it's not new. It's been around for a long, long time. We just didn't see it. We didn't know about it. And it is advancing like everything else in tech. I mean, I remember getting my first computer in 1986 that in equivalent dollars was $1,000 today. I only got it because my friend got a better one and he gave me his old one. But I've seen this evolution of no cell phones. Like we had wired phones, no computers, black and white TVs, to this era where you can get an answer to a question. You can create an app that generates exactly what you want. You can look on the App Store and go, I like this app, but it doesn't do this. And I like this app, it doesn't do that. As an example, I read a lot. I read a lot of ebooks because in Guatemala, I can't just order a Kindle book and have it, or a print book and have it sent here. It's very expensive and problematic. And as I read, I highlight and I want to save it, but I can't do that. So then I found an EPUB reader that has AI, so I can ask questions and interact with the text. Okay, that's cool, but I still can't save snippets anywhere from my own personal library. So I built a book reader that allows me to connect with AI, ask questions, have a conversation, and save it into my personal digital brain so I can reference it easily later. So I've seen again and again and again people developing apps over the weekend to meet the need that they want. And is that a bad thing? No, but we do need some regulation. But we're on a tricky path. We're at the beginning of this curve, and that curve is very, very steep. AI adoption, personal or corporate, is doubling in months. Right? There's an old electronics term that says that the power and speed of semiconductors doubles every 2 years, if I remember right, or every year. AI is blowing that out of the water. And I also look at the positive. I was at an AI conference last year, and a doctor from India was talking about these families out in the rural parts of India, far, far away from medical treatment. They send home health aides. They're not even fully trained nurses, and they need to go out and check birth weight. They don't have a scale. It doesn't exist. They don't have the ability to do it. So these home health aides have done it enough times. They just pick up and like, oh yeah, that baby's heavy enough. So somebody created a tool that downloads on a mobile phone, which means that you can just give a mobile phone to the home health aide, can snap a set of pictures, and in minutes, the AI can say, that baby's malnourished. Or a research lab found an antibiotic in a minuscule frame of time that was an antibiotic resistant bacteria. So they actually found one through the power of AI, working with the humans to find the answer faster. So it's not all doom and gloom, but we do need to be aware. And I think we need to be settled in our identity of who we are. And I appreciate what I think it was Margaret said this. If you stand here and look, how many people stood and looked at the automobile and said, these people are crazy. Nobody will ever want that. How do most of us get places? In an automobile of some type. The BlackBerry was the rage. It was the most successful device on the market. The founder says, nobody will ever use a virtual keyboard. When's the last time you touched a physical keyboard on a mobile device? So yes, if we just sit here and put our heads in the sand, that's not going to help. Mic drop.
I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. Look, now, there are many technologies, like I said earlier, that we don't touch today that could change our lives. Example, nuclear. If you want to go green and get rid of carbon fossil fuel, then go nuclear. But the world knows the dangers of nuclear. You can wipe out people and societies just like that, right? And Chernobyl, that's no example. I'm saying, so there's tight rules around nuclear. Of course, look, technology is not an inevitable march. Everything is a choice that we make. Which goes back to what Coach actually was saying. Extract authenticity to match your soul. We have to find the value of AI that we use that matches our soul. That matches. If it doesn't match our soul, I say we'll feel dirty using it. And I think Nikki, you have a point. The way big companies use AI is not the same way that we use AI. I'm saying The fact that it's here now, initially, let's be clear. Today, AI is a marvelous thing. It's helping us. It's moving us forward, quicker, faster, better. Yeah, more. Yeah, good things. Give it 5 years, give it 10 years, and we really could be wiped out. That's the point, right? Like we really, like, if not wiped out, we'll be relegated, like I say, to farm animal status. Just we're alive, but barely so, and we are doing nothing. We're doing nothing because don't underestimate what AI can do. AI can do everything we can do and better. If we can think it, AI can think it as well now, and we're not even close to artificial intelligence yet. We're not even close to it. We're still doing data entry and recall as the tools are doing today. When they start thinking, I don't know where we're going to go. We're right. And so the first I showed you a video that essentially showed you how these tools are thinking. They really are thinking. They are thinking themselves. And when AI tools think, they make decisions that work for them, not for us. Paulette, I've just sent you the link to the WhatsApp if you want to WhatsApp. Otherwise, I can put it on LinkedIn if you want, if that helps. Look, of course, I'm tempted to show you the second video. I really am. Because I think that it speaks of a different topic to what the first video showed. But I would love for us to think about how do we control AI as we have it today. Coach Ashif says, which I think is a natural fact, that AI are small from human intelligence. Almost like our message to our kids now, Coach Sean, Margaret, I don't know whether you ask kids, right? It's no longer pass your exams, do well. It's create solutions, create unique solutions, create something that only human can do. Really, that's the answer, right? That's God. Coach Sean is dying. I love when Coach Sean starts getting excited. Talk to me, God. What are you thinking?
I want to clear the deck here. AI doesn't think.
No, at all.
It doesn't think the way people think. It mimics human thinking. It is a pattern recognition algorithm and prediction machine. That's all it is.
Okay, so hold on. So now I'm gonna have to show you the second video that I have. Paulette, what happened to you?
Can I say something before you show us the video?
Of course, go for it. I'm glad I found you again.
Yeah, I want to go back to the question: is using AI inevitable in business? My answer, I just want to answer that question before. The answer, as far as I'm concerned, is businesses that don't use AI will fall behind.
Sweet. Oh, okay. I don't think that's inevitable. I don't think that's always going to be the case. Really, I don't.
Well, it depends on the business you're doing because you have competitors. You do have competitors, and you don't really want to be left behind. Yeah, you can write your emails, you can create your reports, customer support, scheduling, research, and data can do a lot of things. So, it's not about is it inevitable. It's my only concern, though, is that I think that these large language models, they are competing against each other.
Yes.
I think that somebody has to be moderating what they are producing. That is actually my concern.
Excellent.
Because every month, actually, you can hear that cloud is first this month. Well, next month is going to be Gemini. Well, next 2 months it becomes ChatGPT. And then you see they are in a competition. So my
Yeah.
concern, I don't know, this is a quiet concern. I said, who is moderating what they are doing? That's all I'm. But you know what? Everybody needs to use it. I'm using it. It's helping me. Actually, the rate at which I can complete tasks now, I can say it's more than 500%. You can 5x your productivity. But still, my question is, who is moderating what is the competition about? Who is moderating this competition? That's all. All right.
Look, I think it's a fair question that you ask. Who is putting the guardrails around this AI tools? And we'll come back to that in a second, if that's all right. I think the competition you speak of is part of the problem, because these owners, whether it's OpenAI, whatever his name is, they're all there, right? Mr. Altman, they're all they're creating these seeds for human destruction, and they know this. They've said so, and they've said we don't mind, because I would rather create a tool that destroys the world than let you create it. And this is why I'm asking the question today, because was one person accepts this point that we're on the road to doom, and we say it's inevitable. If I don't do it, they will do it. Then they're all gonna do it, and then we're all doomed.
Yes,
Girls, Paulette's dying to speak. I see Miss Margaret is also on mute. Let's talk to Paulette quickly, and then we'll come to you, Miss Margaret.
Can you hear me
right.
okay? Because I
Yeah.
didn't do the mic check. Perfect.
Perfectly.
Great. Two things. And I think these are things that you may have kind of thought about, but may not have done. My husband is a math teacher. I know Professor Roxana, math teacher, as well as many other brilliant things. There has always been a need for children to have additional support. For whatever the reason, there's always been a need. It might be that they've fallen behind. It might be that they don't particularly understand a question, or they don't, whatever. There's a new computer system being generated at the moment, AI generated. And the AI is basically supporting the children in class. So the children are working on a computer. So I'm fiddling. The children are working on a computer. They get stuck. They can ask the AI, like the AI teacher, to help them. At the moment, the AI teacher isn't wise enough, smart enough, able enough to answer every question, because it's not humanoid. And I use that word very seriously for a reason. Emotional intelligence, it doesn't come from a robot. So you're getting a robotic answer at the moment, because that's all that's been put into the computer. Now they've got people like Charles, who are math teachers, who are geniuses. I mean, absolute geniuses. I don't mind boasting about my husband, but Cambridge educated, absolute top of the mark genius. He is sitting there watching the AI, and he will jump in if he doesn't think the AI has either explained it fairly, or needs to change the wording, or feels like the child is still left confused, or whatever the reason. But he has that option to jump in. Now, once we've done all this jumping in, and once we've fed all this information into these machines, just think about that for a minute. We're saying that they don't have emotional intelligence. We're saying they don't have the ability to really connect with the children yet. And here we are giving them the opportunity to, because we've got people like Charles sitting there going, well, actually, I'd have answered it like this, or maybe perhaps try this, or, giving it prompts, giving it different prompts. Okay. If you take that view of life, there are millions, and I say this to you now,
absolutely truthfully, millions of people who are currently being helped by counselors or therapists online that are AI driven. So what happens is the AI gets a question. It's not a person. You're not talking to a roboty person. You're talking to text. But it's because you can't have a therapist because there aren't enough. There aren't enough counselors. So you get a text. And the text says, you say to the text, I'm feeling very low. Everything's grey, doom and gloom, blah, blah, blah. And then the text comes back and says, please look at the drop down menu and let me know which one of these best suits your current mood. And then it'll give you a mood list. And then you can tick a mood. And then it will go, okay, depending on which mood you picked, it will go down to the next one. So we're just talking about a flow diagram of drop down menus. And eventually it will come to the conclusion that you are either miserable moo, you are seriously in trouble, suicidal, or you are just looking for attention, kind of thing. It's very black and white with the responses. Again, the more therapists that are sitting in giving these counseling sessions that are being recorded, this is my point. Every single conversation that is being used by humans that's being recorded is then being put into these computer systems that are AI driven. And the AI will then be able to be far more emotionally intelligent and therefore will be able to respond in a more emotionally intelligent way. I want to say just one last thing. As an author, as somebody who tries to connect directly with people and children to support and help them, as a therapist, as a counselor, you're trying to really get to know the individual. We are making ourselves unemployed because AI will be able to do that. Now, one half of me says, thank God, because there are millions of people waiting to be diagnosed with whatever they need to be diagnosed with. They've got neurodivergence and they need diagnosing, right? Or there's 100,000 people waiting for a therapist appointment and are in such a state that they'll take the AI version rather than nothing, right? At what point do we stop bothering to have humanoid connection because we've taught the machines so much? And I'm not saying I'm against. The whole purpose of AI is to make it easier, no question. And it does. And it does 5x, 10x, whatever you say, it does it. And look, we need these counselors. So if all you can have is a drop down menu type person, shouldn't use the word person, an AI bot that is able to give drop down menus and give you some kind of support, that's better than nothing. But it's not the answer. We still need the human touch. We still need to have the ability to reach out to each other and make that human connection. And I just fear, from everything I'm hearing, whether it's getting rid of currency and becoming all digital, everyone having a digital ID, everybody having this, everybody having that, we are starting to look a little bit like we're a number. We're just a number. And, I'm very aware that I sound like an old lady, and I'm not scared. I'm just unsure. And I need more. I need better information. I need better confirmation, because we're not getting told what they're doing. They are recording conversations left, right, and centre. All they need to do is say, read our T's and C's. Is that right? Yeah, terms of conditions. Read our T's and C's, right? And who does? So we just tick the box. The T's and C's say they will record every conversation you ever have. Every conversation you ever have with a customer service operative is now being recorded. And that information is getting fed into a machine that helps with the drop-down menus. So understand that we are giving these machines so much information about people, about the kinds of people that might come to you and ask a question, so that you can answer it better. Now, surely I should be pleased about that. But am I not then seeing hundreds of thousands of people unemployed? I just think we need to really work out, if we don't need people to be customer service operatives or whatever, then what are they going to do? We have to have some other job. We have to have some other purpose. We've got rid of so much manufacturing. What are they going to do? I'll shut up now.
That's bugging me, for sure, right? Like Coach Sean said right at the beginning, he mentioned what AI gives us, and half the time, 90% of the time, it is slop. That's what it's called. Literally, general bland content. However you're gonna say. If I say to AI, design a flyer for me for my event, I know what's gonna give me. It's gonna give me black, bland color and some text on there. And I never use AI to design my flyers. I don't design great ones. Don't get me wrong, but literally, I don't need general stuff. I need something that's personalized, right? And the counseling Paulette, they're getting the kids are getting slop. And really, that's all it is. General, it's a load of words, but like you say, AI is extracted from something that we fed into it. As you and Dr. Roxana are talking, I'm thinking, if I go back to my school days, the teachers that really impacted me were the ones who were more personal. It's a personal touch that impacts all of us. Which brings me to Coach Sean's question. I minded to show you the video because I think this now you were the first one to tell me that AI does think for it months ago. And I was like, no, they don't. She's like, no, they do. They do more than you think, more than you know. Is the word think in all of this, I think, is important, right? But let me show you the video. But I will come back to Coach Sean's question, which I think is the heart of today's conversation, really.
Can I just clarify something? When I say they think, because I know my friend Sean up there is going, what's she on about? I could see his face. He gave me that funny face that went, that one. I clocked it. When I say AI is thinking, we are feeding it. It's like it's come to dinner. It's at the table. It's sampling the food. It's trying it, and it's deciding if it likes it or not. Right? Then, if somebody says, "Did you like mashed potato and peas and beans or whatever?" It can actually say, "Actually, mashed potatoes, peas, and beans are great because I've actually sampled that because I got fed it." Right? We fed that into it, and it has a decision on it. Right? And the reason it knows it liked it is because the rest of the table all said, that was really nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a generalized opinion that is making it think. It's not that it's going, oh, I like baked beans and peas and whatever. Of course it can't. It can't like it because it can't think without the intelligence of us feeding the device of that. Sean, do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course. And I understand what you're saying, so I'm sure we will do, right?
I hear what you're saying, but if you know me, and any does, I'm a wordsmith. I'm very particular about words because words have great power. So when people go, AI thinks, yes, in all the standard ways of processing information, it functions exactly like the human brain. The human brain doesn't even function like most people think. It's a pattern recognition machine. That's what it is. Where AI and humans big time differ is we have experiential knowledge. We have a sensor array of embodied inputs, right? How do you know not to touch a hot pan? Oh, you probably touched one. How do you not bump into the coffee table in the dark when you get up to get a drink? Because you probably bumped into it at least once.
And it hurt.
And it hurt. So yes, but the difference is and he admitted he has 51 years of experience that's been feeding his model. I have 57. Professor Roxana told us she's got much more data input. But AI does this data input at exponential speeds that we humans could ever imagine.
And absorbs it that much quicker as well.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Not only thinks it,
because
but
it doesn't
in.
have belief systems and filters that filter it. Right?
Yeah.
You're sitting talking to someone and your brain goes, God, she's gotten fat. But your filter goes, don't say that.
Don't say that.
Not
Never
if
say
you're my son. Not if you're my son. First day at school. First day at school.
And that's a positive illustration. That's a good filter. Everybody should have that filter. Don't spout your mouth. I teach my son, my 8-year-old, think. Is it true? Is it helpful?
Yeah.
Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If you can't answer yes on those 5, perhaps you don't need to speak it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always like to say, think of the most brilliant PhD, multi-PhD, Nobel Prize winner with the cognitive filtration of a 3-year-old. And that's what AI does. It can process massive amounts of data quickly. It can lock it in, and okay, I have to share this, Annie. So, like what Paulette was talking about, there aren't enough coaches, there aren't enough therapists for all the people that need help. I found a big gap in coaching. Client comes to the session on fire. They leave. Oh, yeah, I'm good. I had a breakthrough. Tuesday morning hits. They're back dealing with that toxic coworker or whatever. And the coach, even if they're charging $10,000 an hour, is not going to answer the phone at 2 a.m. to talk to the client. And then when they come back together, the first third of the call is, okay, so how are things going? What worked? What didn't? It's catch up. So the weekend, I built an asynchronous agentic team that clients can text a message 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, talk to it. The first agent just talks to it. It listens. It responds with a question that the coach can put their own questions in. It's framework agnostic, so it works for any coach. It's not my framework, although mine is the bones and skeleton. It will work for any coach. That mirror agent takes the conversation, passes it to the pattern agent, who pours through all the conversation, looking for linguistic red flags and what's going on and what's in the language patterns. Then passes it to another agent who can send daily reminders like, hey, when you go to work, speak up once in a meeting. Just little nudges based on the conversation. And the best part, it delivers a guide to the coach who can pre-read it And when they meet, the coach knows everything that's been going on, all the patterns that came up, where the client struggled. It's functional. My MVP is up and running. I've tested it. I'm adding to it. It's functional. I've started sharing it with a small group of coaches for my pilot program. So it solves a real problem, right? It allows people to talk to their coach, and the coach doesn't have to, they don't have to try to remember. I mean, let's do this from the husband perspective. I'll get on a phone call and talk to somebody. And as soon as I hang up, my wife will be, "What'd you talk about?" "Oh, we talked about how Annie's finally back home." And she's like, "And?" I'm like, "He's doing well." And I can't remember what we talked about. And who else can? We're not all as lucky as you women to have this magical brain that remembers stuff that we didn't even remember to remember. I'll yield the mic.
No, I hear you loud and clear. You know, AI has many purposes, but I think we can break down the values that we are trying to create, or the values that are important in our business. But I do want to show you the video. Now, does AI think? Oh, I think I believe AI thinks. Nikki, you've been unmuted for a while. What do you want to add?
Well, I just wanted to be ready whenever I wanted to interject. But so far, I'm just in agreement with so much of what everyone has shared, and I'm just happy to be in the conversation. And you know what? Honestly, too, it feels good to even be among others that are willing to have all of the conversations that are possible around AI versus avoiding the conversations or only leaning towards one way and not having an open mind to others' opinions.
Yes, I agree with you. That's why I always appreciate all of you for your bravery, for your insights, for everything that you bring to us in these conversations. But no, there's a couple of things I want to go through before we go, because I know our time has run past already. But Cyrus, you're here. How are you? Apart from making me hungry with your lasagna.
I feel great. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah. How's it going, everybody? It was lovely to listen to Sean's talk, and I've not had the pleasure of listening to the rest of the amazing people on the stage. So, I joined the first part of the show where you were asking the question whether AI is going to be is it inevitable? But I think we use the word inevitable for something to refer to some sort of eventuality. If it's already happened, perhaps we should ask a different question. Is what it promises inevitable? Because AI is already there, and some of us have been using it more than the rest. AI has been in our lives for longer than we've been paying attention to it. You know that washing machine that you have in your kitchen? That is following some sort of algorithm, which is really a version of artificial intelligence. We call it artificial intelligence. I'm not really sure why we do that. Is we still got a long way before we get concerning version. Why is it that some people views is always apocalyptic regarding AI. It feels like iRobot and is going to be get activated, etc., etc. So please always remember, if can you hear me? Sorry. Yeah. So if things get easier, whenever you say yes to this question, when I ask you, are things going to get easier? If the answer is yes, that means a bunch of us are going to lose our job. Right? So when you lose friction, you increase the speed and ease, right? So if a member of staff is getting sick, if a member of staff is chatting back, if a member of staff has attitude issues, the employer is going to turn around and say, okay, I'm going to be replacing you with something or someone who wouldn't do these things, right? So my concern as an employer and as an employee is not whether AI is going to be replacing us. AI is not going to be replacing us because as human beings, we can't replace AI and AI can't replace us, right? So that's not where I would invite you to put your focus on, right? What I would like to invite you is to think of a future where things are easier and whatever job that can be done from home. You know, when they send you from when they send you from your office back home and ask you to go and work from home, if you think your job is not in danger, if they can get, I'm sorry, it's brutal honesty. I know that. It's a teeny tiny bit bitter. Okay? It's bitter. But that when you get a vaccine, it just stings a bit, but it can save your life. And by the way, I'm not talking about COVID vaccine because that doesn't save life because it's not a vaccine anyway. If they can send you home and enjoy your productivity from a distance, your job is on the chopping block. You can't see it yet, right? And just because you can't see it yet, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? So normally, automation starts from highly manual work. Then it will affect intellectual and mental kind of work, right? It has now reached the mental and intellectual work, okay? I'm asking you to be worried. I'm asking you to plan ahead, right? Is it inevitable? Well, there's no way around it. Okay, it's already here, right? If it's the first time, if it's the first time you're here watching this show, some sort of artificial intelligence or algorithm has brought you to this show. The choices you've made on the platform has been discerned by the platform, artificial intelligence, and that has brought any to you or has brought you to any, right? So some sort of connection, matching, if you will. My concern is human beings willing to sacrifice other people to their own ease. So if I told you between livelihood and someone else's ease, and the customer's ease. Your ease and livelihood. That's the right answer is always customers are paying for a product, and that product is not your livelihood, and that product is not your ease, right? Genetically speaking, selfish, and because we are selfish, we choose our comfort over someone else's livelihood. So AI is going to bring ease and speed at your cost, at my cost. So the good thing is it's going to think about it. The bad thing is okay, so the good thing and the bad thing about artificial intelligence is sadly the same, right? So are you going to be winning or are you going to be losing is how you play the game. Okay, it's how familiar you are with the game. Okay, it's like any game, right? So how familiarized you are with the game, how much experience you have in the game, right? So whilst people are making money out of it, there are wondering if it's going to be integrated into their business or not. If it's going to, if AI is going to make a change in their life. AI has already made it. Okay, and if we are, you know, I had a friend who always told me, who always wore a T-shirt that said, "If you can read this, you are too close to me." He always liked to keep people at a kind of arm's length or whatever. So if we are asking that question, that means it's a little bit late. Okay, so I hope my contribution helps. I'll be quiet and I'll be learning. Thank you.
My friend, you always help. Making me hungry, all those things. I'm very cautious or conscious of my Paulette falling asleep and dying because it's going to midnight, right? So let's hurry up and let's finish. I don't want to leave Paulette hanging when it gets too late. Look, let me show you the video.
Look, my eyes are like this at the minute. But what I will say to you is, what Cyrus just said is 100%. It's been here for many years already, and we were blissfully unaware, right? It was happening behind the scenes. Now it's coming to the fore. We've either got to jump on board, jump on the AI train and find out where it's going. The problem I like to think is I like to always know my destination. That's just my nature, is that I like to know where I'm going, right? I don't know that it knows. It might know, but I don't know that it knows.
I apologize. I also wanted to add that if your employer is pushing for it, right? Don't get excited too much because they're pushing for it for a reason, right? They're pushing for that, for applying it to your business for a reason, because it's always cheaper to press a button. It's always cheaper to automate things than to employ 3, 4, 5 people, right? I'm asking the whole room this question. If you could choose between more expensive and less expensive, I know it's a very stupid question, but I want you to think about the answer. Forget about the question. If you could choose between more expensive and less expensive, which one would you choose?
You're always going to choose less.
Faster or slower? Faster or slower?
Faster.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Obvious question.
It depends, which is why I left Coach Sean's question on the screen. Look, business and life.
So maybe I should have clarified. When you're hungry, would you like it slower or would you like it faster? Right?
I think we'll get your question. We'll get your line of thinking, Cyrus. I think, look, in business, there's more to it than speed and efficiency. Isn't there?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
if I can produce faster with a tool like AI. But with its hallucinations and its imperfections, if depending on how serious what I need, if it's going to cause an error that's going to affect and impact the bottom line when it comes to profit, or it's going to impact negatively my reputation for my brand and with my clients and my customers, then it's not worth it. That's why even with humans, right, no matter what our expertise is, there's always room for growth. And like I said before, as I continue to expand and advance my business and grow it, I want to make more opportunities for
I think
Yeah, she is.
yes, yes, and I want to
Thank you
make.
so much.
I don't want to just have things move faster and smoother so that I can and count down the costs of people taking time off, needing leave, stuff that just happens with life so that I can just have more money. Because that to me is greed. There is when you care enough about people and help others succeed. I believe Zig Ziglar said this, if I'm not mistaken, but help enough people to get what they want, and you will get what you want. But how can you do that if we're so quick and swift to take away from others?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, look. Yeah,
we complain when something replaces us. We complain, but we don't have a problem doing the same replacement.
yeah. Yeah, that's the weirdest of humans, right? Look, I think for me, business is personal. It's by giving people a personalized solution. Whether we're talking about Paulette's counseling, we need people who know and who've been there, who have real life experience and understand humans and kids and young people and how they think. To not say to them, "Oh, go and take these tablets and jump here." That's guaranteed to work. I'm saying we need the personalized responses, right? I can write a book about it with AI tomorrow. We all could, but I prefer to write one that based on my experience and knowledge that's really going to help people. Surely that's what business is all about. Coach Sean's tool is not there to replace him. It is there to fill the gap when he's not there. I'm saying there's a way to
And
use AI.
Emmy, if I could just interrupt a second,
Yeah.
when you talk about business, like if you are able to replace your accounts department or you automate your accounts department, you automate your invoicing, you automate your I
Everything.
don't know, returns policies and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the things that I can see will happen without question. That's almost happening now, right?
Mm,
That's
mm, mm.
almost guaranteed. But what comes next? When you
Yeah.
look at your business and you look at what part of it doesn't require the interpersonal skills, there are, I mean, even accounts requires interpersonal skills. And just like Nikki said, you don't want anything that's going to screw a customer over or upset a customer, because that means you lose everything in terms of your business,
No.
everything you've grown and developed.
You
But
see,
there are systems already out there that you can literally hand over your complete, like a carrier bag full of receipts and everything else, and go, do my tax return, and it'll just do it. I mean, I think it's a bit more, you have to put it into a machine now, but what I'm
yeah.
trying to say is it's as basic as that. You put in your receipts, you tell it what you bought, and bosh bish, and your tax returns done, right?
you know what?
Accountants are no longer needed. So
I
that's
just
a big thing to think about. Accounting is the one thing where I've seen the maximum use of AI being used already. It's
Wow.
being used in
you know
my
what, Paulette,
company already.
what Nikki was saying is it tells me that she scores high on morality. Okay,
Mm.
but the big boys,
Ethics.
the big girls, the big boys in the industry, right? They're not necessarily following Nikki's footsteps, and they're not necessarily thinking like she does. And they're the ones whose actions really matters, right? And on a greater scale, okay? We can tell the industries what we want, but at the consuming enough water, enough electricity. They're consuming water and electric as much as a country, a small country.
Yeah.
For 10 years of that country's worth of electric and water. So I don't see morality operating in that scenario. So, when it comes to artificial intelligence, we're talking about cold, hard cash, right? And then if a government is stepping in, and if the government, which they are, by the way, if the governments are stepping in to invest in it, trust me, the outcome is not comfort and ease for people at all. Okay, so you remember when internet was introduced to the world? What was it? What was it introduced as? It was a facilitator to make things easier. But in reality, right now, are we living an easier life? No. Are we more satisfied compared to 41 years ago? No. Are we safer? No. Are our children safer? No. So when it comes to artificial intelligence, you've got to use it. You should not be used by it. That's my message, basically.
You see, that's part of the problem that we have. If you go back 15 years and looked into and said, right, social media's come in, what's the worst that can happen? They would have told you that to make social media work the way the creators want, we need to get our kids glued in permanently. Not sometimes, not for a bit. We need to have them addicted to the scrolling, doom scrolling, it's called, right? We need to have them literally live online as if it is their real life. I'm saying these things were predicted. We didn't listen.
Yeah.
And it's the same with AI. They know what's coming, and they're telling us, and we're just going, we'll carry on. That's a danger, right? It's good today. In 10 years' time, we're going to look back and think, goodness me, what have we done? It'll be too late by then.
But Annie, yesterday I was asked for my driving license as a verification on LinkedIn. Okay, on LinkedIn, I got slung out. It was very slow, and will tell you we both were having problems. And eventually, it said you have to completely re-verify your account. That meant my passport, my driving license,
your face has to be in there as well. Yeah.
Like date of birth, place of birth, I don't know, all the questions you don't want to give, right? You're giving because you want your LinkedIn. And LinkedIn are now verifying people randomly to do this. Now, you have a choice. If you don't give that information, you're not verified, and therefore you can't have the professional LinkedIn platform. You can only have the lower tier, which means you don't pay for it and you don't get the privileges of whatever. I've always paid for it because that's what I thought was the thing to do. And therefore I'm filling in this form and I'm like, I'm giving them everything. The only thing they don't know is my waist measurement or my bust measurement.
They know that too, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yes, they might do, but I'm just saying it felt like I was giving everything bar the kitchen sink, right? And the point I'm making is that we're doing it willingly.
Stupidly.
Okay, we sign the TCs and we say tick. What we don't realize is this is the big thing that I find that we don't really understand. When we sign up for that, we sign the T's and C's. We never read the buggers, right? Excuse my language, but we never do. Now that says, am I allowed? We will be using your data for other things, right? That's what they say in all these T's and C's. We have the right to use your data for other things, and you don't sign up for that thinking that's what they're going to do, but they end up doing it. Anemia, how many people do they sell it to? Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I turned up in an airport in New York, must have been 40 years ago. No, 35 years ago. And as we got off the plane, there was some Indian gentlemen standing there, and they are having reams of, do you remember that old paper with all the dots in it from the old dot matrix printers, you know? Reams like this.
Yeah.
And they were selling data. They were selling data, names, addresses, and phone numbers. And people were buying it. And I was
That's what the AIs are selling these days, right? You know, so
all I'm saying is we've gone from the dot matrix people selling it the way they were doing it at the air, and then they do it at Mumbai, they do it all over the place. People are telling me all the time there's still available data is being sourced by just paperwork, right? Now you don't even need the paperwork. Now you just go down the system.
I think that's a good example to use, verification on LinkedIn or social media. I refuse to do it because I refuse to use my full name unless I have to, and I don't have to. I'm saying, no, we have a choice in all of this. Give your data or don't give your data. Use the system, don't use the system. You know, if I don't have AI write my emails, I'm not going to go bankrupt because I can write emails myself. I can write better emails myself. I can write better books myself. I can do better things myself.
But did you not verify yourself with all your details?
No, I refuse.
So you're not professional now?
No, look, I can't. I got professional, but I haven't done verification. I used to do it. I refuse. You can't make me. It hasn't affected me at all. So, this is the conversation we're having. Tech is not mandatory, compulsory. It's not going to destroy you if you don't use it. It's just not. We need to sort out our beliefs about what our business is for, how business really works. We must.
Annie, another thing I wanted to, if I may, please.
Very quick, because I can get to Coach Sean for it.
Yeah, very quick. Yeah. So if you have a business and you're a business strategist, or you devising a strategy for the next 10 years, remember, your generation and mine, we Googled things, we Yahoo'd things, we Mama things, those search engines. Then we were given SERPs, search engine results, right? Result pages. Then out of like 10, 15, 20 things, you had lots of choices. You had your own truth to choose.
Yes.
Right? Whatever was congruent with your mentality, whatever, because you would you would shine that light through the lens of your discernment, right? And you would understand it, and you would come to your own conclusions. Now, if you devising a strategy for your customers for the next 10 years, those customers are 10 now, right? By the time they are mature customers of yours, they're going to be 20, right? So remember, this is how they are being raised now.
Yeah.
Instead of Googling, they are ChatGPT as an example, or Claude gives them the answer. Literally is, so asking questions is outsourced now. Rather, your opinion is given to you. Right? So remember, you are a thing and a bad thing at the same time. There's a weird duality to it, right? But the customers you're going to have within the next 10 years are going to be, they're going to be more screen oriented, more visual, right? So using a strategy for your business for the next 10 years, make it more visual. This will lead to a less democratic world. And we won't vote for things. That's going to be just a formality, right? So democracy is going to formality, and questions you're asking is the answer is given to you as usually there are clever about it as well. They give you two choices, and number two, give you two choices. It's not choice.
I like that.
The choice comes in from no.
Yeah.
Then you can call it a choice. But if they give you one, don't call it a choice. Just call it a really mild nudge towards the ambivalence that you have.
You know, it's a dichotomy. It's the yes or no. Take no. There's no nuances in between. Look, you know, you speak of my masterclass tomorrow. You know, everyone's going to be using AI. Thank you, Cyrus, for that. Really, everyone's going to be using AI to search, and you know, they're not going to get loads of choices like we used to get with Google, especially with our resource pages. We're going to get citations, recommendations. One person, two people. Who are they going to be? It's going to be you. It's going to be someone else. And this is why we're doing the masterclass. But I'll show the video for that at the very end. Let's talk to Coach Sean. Now, I want to show you this video just so you can see what we see. But Coach Sean, talk to me. You know, you're thinking. You've thought for a long time.
So there's a lot of levels here, and I don't have time or space to unpack it. But some of what you guys were talking about with the early internet, and instantly Lycos popped into my head. Right? I remember I was just talking about this. Somebody asked me, does anybody still use Yahoo email? Yep, my mother-in-law does. My sister-in-law still has an AOL address. I remember when Google was 10 with 100 zeros. It was just a number in mathematics. Google didn't exist. Lycos, Ask Jeeves, Paulette probably remembers those, etc. But, and in some ways, yes, we had a different world, right? We had the privacy of intention, because the early web was decentralized. Protocols of communication were open. I remember using IRC, CQ, all of these systems when we first went on the web. You wanted to put a website up, you ran it on your computer. You didn't go buy from GoDaddy or something. There was no attention economy because it was just read only. It was a snapshot. It was like looking at photographs. It's a frozen in time thing. And people used fake names like Neo99 in the chat room. So it was our first taste of an anonymity in a way that we'd never experienced. We didn't have GPS. There was no biometrics. Pixels following you across every site you visit. But here's 3 asterisks on that. Data encryption didn't exist. If you typed it on the web, someone could grab the keystrokes and get exactly your password, your login name, your account number. Cybersecurity, what's that? It was the Wild West. Antivirus, you could click on one link and poof, kill your whole computer. I remember emails going around, like, look in your folders, and if you see this little teddy bear icon, delete it. I can't tell you how many computers went because people deleted that.
Do you remember the I love you one?
Yep.
I caused 100,000 emails to go down in one day.
Yes, or the email chains. Like, if you don't send this to 700 people in the next 5 minutes, you're going to die, or some crazy stuff like that. So I operate under a principle. There's nothing new under the sun. We just changed the face, right? Back then we had a privacy of intention. Today we have infrastructure privacy, right? You can do your banking online. You can log into your accounts and see balances, make payments, send money anywhere in the world, right? If I was going to work with any on Web 1.0, wasn't going to happen. Today I can pay him. I can wire money to his bank. I can pay it through a credit card processor. So, and we've built the system through our demands, our actions, right? Why do people, I mean, I remember the Google slap. People figured out the way Google algorithm worked, and they put a bunch of empty text, the original AI slop, invisible on the page, and Monday morning, they're at the top of the list. Google looked at that and they're like, that's not valid information. And they rewrote the algorithm. Sites fell. The only thing that changed is we live in this world where people want an answer now. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. I don't like this. How do I fix it? Now. I don't want to wait and scroll to page 10 of Google search. I can go to a ChatGPT and say, my tooth really hurts. What should I do? Where do I find the nearest dentist? I want to publish a book with international reach. Who do you suggest? My child has anxiety. Who do you suggest? So we feed it. And this idea that, I mean, honestly, who spends more than $100 on the AI stuff? Raise your hand if you spend more than $100 on AI stuff. Yeah, nobody. Our word doesn't mean anything. These companies spend
Probably me. And I spent good 3,000 when I was doing more generating videos. But so today I try and keep it down.
Oh, video can eat that up fast. I mean, I have $1,000 in credits that Google gave me. Thank you, Google, to build with, because they want more builders. But as we've evolved, as we've changed our lifestyle, I mean, the fact that I'm talking to you and Paulette over in the UK, not sure, I think Cyrus is in UK. I don't know where Nikki's at.
Nikki's somewhere in the US.
Margaret's in the US.
Yeah, and Dr. Osama is in the US as well.
And I'm down in Guatemala. And here we are having a conversation.
That's AI. That's AI, right? Now that's AI doing what AI does well.
It's the advancement of technology, right?
Right.
We went from simple technology to more advanced technology, and technology just keeps advancing.
Yes.
And companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, but other companies are dumping billions of dollars into AI research and how can we use AI to make our business better. As I shared at the beginning, right? 80%, more than 80% of big business is using AI in some form or another, but only 6% are seeing any measurable financial impact. That tells you something. Everybody's on this bandwagon like, oh, Google's using AI. I should use AI. Oh, wait, Sean's using AI? Oh, I need to do more in AI. Classic FOMO.
Yeah. We need to go back to our business values. Paulette, I can see you're dying. Are you dying to go, or are you dying to share? You're on mute. You're on mute, Paulette. You're on mute. You muted yourself.
I'm on low power mode, not just me, but the computer. I'm going.
Cool,
I wish you all well. And I think this is I think the ongoing conversation, it's not going to just be fixed in one session. This is an ongoing conversation. And fear is one of the biggest failings of the human nature is we fear what we don't know. And we will always do that, and we will always be scaremongered into fearing. But what we could be doing perhaps is looking at opportunity as opposed to fear. But that takes quite a change of mindset. And that's something that people that know what they're talking about can do. People like me are very frightened by it all, but more because I don't understand it. And I when I'm putting my data in, I'm going, what the hell am I doing? Who am I giving this to? You know, I really feel fearful. I mean, you said you didn't do it any. You refused to do it. I did it. I mean, you know, maybe I'm an idiot, but I just thought if I don't do it, I won't be able to have my full account. So, you know, it's worth bearing in mind that we do not know the feeds and the directions of our data. That scares me.
Yeah.
That
No,
scares me.
that's fair enough. No, so thank you for joining us. Cyrus has got your book up.
I just want to
Get out,
say,
Cyrus. He had COVID up a
thank you
minute
so
ago,
much.
so we're all in it.
I'll explain. I just want to say, and this is my way of thanking Annie for creating this fantastic community. People like Annie, people like that Sean, people like Nikki, like yourself, Paulette, and Annie. You guys are amazing. You teach us stuff, and that's my way of returning the favor. Whenever I go to these live events, just advertise my friends. So, and they're fantastic work. So this is New House Nerves, Jack and Walter in New House Nerves by Paulette Hallam and Charlotte Mormon. This book is fantastic for helping your kid or someone else's kid, like your nephew, your niece, or your neighbor's child, get over fear. You know, the fears that they never talk about, right? So you can get.
That's Cyrus. No. Oh well. Yeah, hopefully he'll come back. It seems like we've lost him somewhere. I don't know. We lost his connection. I do apologize. Look, you know, so we'll let Paulette go. My friends, I guess I'll let you go too. I don't want to keep you all night. So it's amazing comments as Coach Ashif asked the question. I will bring your question back, Sean. You know, in the age of AI, is in business more than just productivity? Really, and that's at the heart of what we're talking about. Really, to me, as Coach Ashif says, instant gratification comes at a long-term cost. It really does. It really, really does. But Cyrus, we lost you for a second, right?
Yeah, just want to say that's a really, really fantastic book.
Thank
it's
you.
a work of any old song, and a group of his elite friends, genius friends. It's worth reading. It's worth gifting, right? And I've certainly purchased it, and I read it and I learn from it. And I don't wait for the news channels to tell me the truth. I hear it from my friends, people I know and trust.
Thank you. We appreciate you for what you do to elevate others, my friend. Really. Your books are coming out soon enough, Cyrus. So we get to publicize your book too, right? So I'm part of the new anthology by GBW, Men, Money, and Men. That's you, Coach Sean, I imagine. I wouldn't imagine it's Nikki. So look,
that's me. I'm part of that.
Congratulations, and I say, well, I love
that title resonated with me a lot, and so
yeah. No, again, I think for the title or for your content that you've written, and for what Cyrus is doing, I think these are things that AI can't do. The human aspect of our life is very important. So I won't show you the second video I was going to show you. I'll show that for next time. When I will ask a question, it really is in business and life, more than just AI productivity. That's the question I want to ask. But I think as Michael says, I guess quality You know, we've talked about quality. Price is not the issue, and I guess our customers deserve quality. That's what we want to give them every time, right? And so, price and using technology is not necessarily go together. Is the point? And Coach actually says as well, you know, if the government is saving money, then they should be sharing the money with us, whether it's through tax breaks, better benefits, faster services. You're not gonna, none of that happens, right? You know, everyone wants that. They want to make their lives easier, and it just costs us more every time. I don't know. I've lost someone. I've lost Cyrus. Let's bring him back. It's lasagna, basically lasagna thing, right? Jay, I see you. Welcome. You know, of course, hopefully you can join the stage next time, Jay. Jay says, I've created an app for conservation properties. I like that. I scale back the use of AI due to negative impact of data on data centers and on the environment. That's a choice that we can all make. This is a conversation again we're having today. You know, we can moderate our AI use so it doesn't take over our lives, our business, our everything. You know, I think we have a duty to take that step. I would argue.
And have you noticed how all of those activists like Greta Thunberg and likes of Greta Thunberg have chosen to be quiet, to go quiet and say nothing about these data centers
at all, not a word, not a beep, nothing.
No, and now the funny thing is, this is what people are. I check the chatter online, like on X, formerly known as Twitter, on LinkedIn, on other platforms. This is what people are saying, right? People are saying, how come you guys aren't worried about the environment after the data centers started to become a thing? And how come you're not acknowledging the amount of electricity and water that these centers are consuming right under your noses, and you choose to be silent, right? So the environment, taking care of the environment is not a hoax. Taking care of the environment has always been there. Our fathers and fathers of their fathers and their fathers, their mothers and their mothers have always been mindful of the nature. It's nothing these people invented. It's something they damaged. It's nothing they invented. So I would love to see those activists to come to the fore. Okay, leave the background, leave the shadows. Right, start coming out. Stop hiding behind the data centers, please. Right. So come and tell us what you think. Come and tell us. Now, what people are. I forgot to say this bit. People are saying we want apologies from these fake environmental activists, the same ones who throw blood at
people,
pictures in museums or at people's fur coats, right? And and all of a sudden they change their ideologies, and ideologies diamond doesn't, they're everywhere, right? So how come you guys are not going against this? Okay, please say something.
I want them to go away. That's what I'll say.
No, I don't want them. No, listen. I don't want them to go away. No, I don't want them to go away. I want them to stay. I want them to apologize for the lies they told, and if they learn the truth, join the rest of the humanity. Okay, so being stupid is a choice. Okay,
it really is. It really is. It really is. Look, my friends, I have to let you go. Do check out Jay's app. So www.ursamajor.app. Yeah, I like the URL. So the link is in the comments. So do go and check it out for sure. And as Coach Asher says, without connection, without corruption, without corruption, there will be no conversation. Arguably that AI is on a corruption path. I'll say that for sure. And the last one I want to show you today is the more we connect to the outside, the more disconnect from the inside. Speaking Coach Shaw's language, right? Like, we can't let AI take away who we are. We have to bear in mind who, keep in mind and behave or act according to who we are. That's what we're missing in this conversation. Now, Nikki, Dr. Roxana, please, now I'll give you the mic. Cyrus, you think suddenly looking hot behind you. More hungry, right? Go,
please don't call the
you.
fire brigade.
Who's talking first, Nikki or Dr. Roxana?
Okay, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Cool.
Thank you. I want some of the. Is it the cake? What is that?
It's
Whatever
vegetable.
it is, I need it, please.
Right, it's vegetable lasagna. It's lasagna.
It's vegetarian.
Oh wow!
It's vegetarian lasagna. It's lasagna.
Nice seeing you again.
That's good.
Okay, well, we thought we go to Google to find the information, but right now we go to these AI large language models. We go to ChatGPT and find something we need. So it's not Google anymore. It's not just Google. We find information everywhere. So I think that's a lot of advantages we have for this AI boom. I can say it's AI boom. We have advantages, and everything that has advantage has disadvantage. My only question is, who is regulating all these things coming out every month? Something, actually every 2 weeks. Either Gemini comes out with, and then the next 2 weeks, ChatGPT will, all these large language models, Claude will come out. So is anybody moderating them, or they just bring out what they like? I love what they're doing, though. I'm using them.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Okay. There's an answer to that question. I think we as a market must regulate this AI industry, number one. And number two, look, the governments are trying. Now, Trump just issued an executive order today that I've just seen, right, that says all AI companies must show the government, the US government, the future models before they create them. So the governments have to approve. But again, I go back to the point that Coach Ashif made. Corruption is everywhere. What's the government going to decide on? What helps us or what helps them, or something else? Moderation has to be. I agree with you. They say, and we call them guardrails. They have to be there. Who creates them? How do we create them? How do we get involved? These are all the questions I think we need to ask ourselves and answer as well. I don't know what the answer is, but your point about Google's dying, but Google's got Gemini, so Google's not going to die overnight. Google's going down in use and in relevance. Alas, go on, Dr. Osama.
Google owns YouTube, so I can tell you that most searches go to YouTube.
Yeah.
So Google will never die because YouTube is there. What I'm trying to say is that there are competitors everywhere.
Never. Never is a big word. I agree with you. Google has Gemini, which is what powers everything Google does today.
Yes,
I'm saying
Gemini,
right. So that's AI tool, right? Google will go down in usage because the competition, like you say, is so stiff, and the other tools are good. They have value. It's for us to choose where we show up and what we use. Again, come to masterclass tomorrow. I'll teach you how to be visible on the other tools as well as Google Gemini. Let's talk to Nikki, then go to Coach Sean. I think Coach Sean, I can see he's thinking, and I don't like it when he thinks. I know he's going to come up with something that I haven't thought about, which is always a good thing, right? Nikki, what's your final take today?
So my final take and my final thoughts are that human intelligence is irreplaceable, and human interconnectedness should not be replaceable.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree. I agree. I agree. No, and it is believing in our potential to create solutions that AI can't create. Because we can, we have to, we do. But a lot of people are depositing their brains into an AI keyboard, literally. And that's the worry, right? But we are more intelligent, more capable than AI can ever be. Again, I go back to this slot that AI. I call it slot because I don't like AI written content. When I have had to generate AI content, I've had to rewrite it, drastically, radically, anywhere
Mm-hmm.
near what I want to put out there to the world, because it's too general, it's too bland. You need real. We need real stories, our real stories, our
Yes.
our creativity, our intelligence.
Yes,
Uh,
and I will also say that AI cannot and will not make you smarter or more intelligent. It will only amplify what is already there. However, it can decrease your intelligence if you use it as a dependency versus a tool. And I'm going to
yeah,
land right there. It's been very
yeah, no,
great, everybody.
no, and I think that's the point. A lot of people are de-skilling themselves, not realizing that's what they're doing. But I agree with you entirely. Now, people are giving up their brains to AI tools, and it's not serving our customers any better. It's not even serving our business better, as Coach Sean's mentioned several times. It's not. Is it worth it? I don't think it is. Really, I think we have to ask the question. What's now? Is it? There's a nuance in the answer. Where do we use AI? How do we use it? Where is it not right for us? So for me, I said from day one in 2015, when I started my business, we humans use the tool, not the tools use us. So everything we do in Global.Media has a person doing it. That's just the way I want life to be. Yes, of course, AI can do many things, but unless it's someone doing it in my business, it doesn't go out there in the world. Coach Sean. Now you've been here all the while. Tell me, now, what's your take? How do we conclude this?
Wow, how to make this bullet points. Another clarification. Google as a company is not dying.
Mm,
Yes.
Google search as
it's
we
done.
know it,
Yeah,
it's a dinosaur.
yeah.
That 10 blue links, we're going to
It's
see
dead.
that disappear
That's
very.
gone. That's gone.
It's basically gone.
Mm,
It's gonna I feel like it's going to go the way of Adobe Flash.
yeah,
Anybody who's been around remembers how long it took that death to land in the grave. And I still think there are traces of it out there. Um, right. I dropped in the private chat. It takes either a large group of people with consensus or people with big pocketbooks. Princeton did a study on the likelihood of laws to pass in the United States based on public approval. What they found for about 99% of the public, it has almost nil effect on legislation. But if you look at the top 1%, big companies, big billionaires, etc., the graph follows a predictable pattern. But I think back to Martin Luther King. He executed change. He wasn't a rich man, he didn't push around power. He united the people with a common goal. That's what it will take to shift the current trajectory, to establish guardrails, etc. there is a solution available today. I didn't get a chance to, you know, early Google, Lycos, all that, we called that Web 1.0. We are in the Web 2.0 era. There's a third one called Web 3.0, which is bringing a lot of the benefits of Web 2.0 and getting us back towards more of Web 1.0, where we could keep our data private. I use a browser, it tracks nothing.
Yeah.
There are search engines. You can search and it doesn't drop a pixel in every site. How many times have you searched something and gone to your social media and all of your ads are exactly what you searched?
Yeah.
It's
Every
the
time.
reality. It's the
Every time.
reality we live in because of the golden rule. Not the traditional one that I love, right? That says, do unto others as you would have them do to you. The golden rule that says, the one with the gold makes the rules.
Yeah. Which is
As Nikki said, right? AI, you said it, Cyrus said it. AI is a tool. A tool can be used for good purposes and it can be used for evil purposes. And AI can be used to process thinking better, learn more quickly, extract information from large texts that would take you days to read through yourself. I always say it this way, Annie. Are you using AI as a cognitive replacement? In other words, you're letting it do all your thinking. If it says it's true, you buy into it 100%, which your video showed how many times we've caught AI outright lying, not just hallucinating, but like intentionally lying. So AI is a tool. Used appropriately, it can benefit you. But as we said, check your identity, your values, your purpose, and make your decision with the right information. Because will mom and pop businesses or those who don't embrace AI lose out on business? Probably long term, yes. It will be a very slow, trickling bleed out. We saw it. The mom and pop shops around the US, because of Walmart came in, and those shops are gone. So,
yeah.
but you've got to make the decision, informed consent. Know what you're consenting to
Yeah.
and align it to your values. That's the starting point for me.
I agree. And I agree 100%. Now, so it was said very early today. We need to bother to read the terms and conditions of the tools we use. Look, maybe I'm willing to be somewhere on that road of saying, be careful how you use AI, be mindful how you use AI, and be mindful of training the systems to replace you. That means not giving consent for the information to be used for training. Yeah, and I have no problem saying that at all. I'm saying that maybe that's where we start, Coach Sean. Maybe that's where we really start. We need to actually understand what it is we're agreeing to. You know, I'm looking at Cyrus lasagna. It's always a worry, right? I need to go and eat after this show. But my friends, so there's more conversations to be had. And I think, I love your golden rule as well, Coach Sean. It is an important one. It's saying the people with the money, they're deciding things for us now that's going to change our lives. That's the truth. And
They do it every day. They've done it
they do.
every day of our entire life.
Right.
Nothing
Except that
new.
but AI gives them a lot more tools, a lot more power than we realize. I'll show you why in the next episode of Being Your Authentic Self in Business, right? Because let's begin to apply some of these some of our learnings from what we're doing, what we're thinking, to how we run our businesses. That's what this room is all about, ultimately, right? Until then, my friends, I would like to show you a video about my event tomorrow, because the time's running out to buy your ticket. There's a couple of minutes. Listen to me waffle on that. That's why I put it, right? And I say thank you to all that's joined us. Thank you to everyone that's been. Thank you for all that's shared. We'll learn from you, and hope our friends will connect with you and continue the conversation. Let me show you this video quick, and then we can go. Thank you so much, everyone. So AI is here. How are you using it? So many people don't understand that the old days, how people used to search online, has gone. Yes, of course, SEO still works, but today the world has moved with AI. Now we'll talk about answer engine optimization. What does that mean to you? So here's a simple fact. So when people search for things online, now AI tools, whether it's Gemini, that's Google's AI tool, whether it's Claude, whether it's Perplexity, whether it's ChatGPT, what those AI tools do is give people recommendations. They give you an answer to your question. What does that mean for you? It means that you must become the person that answers questions that your customers are asking. That's how you're going to get people to know you exist and know that you can help them. So AI doesn't give 25 links like Google used to. Now AI gives 2 or 3 links at most, 2 or 3 citations. So you can be one of those citations, which is why we want to show you how to do that. So on a simple level, create a website and have your website content rank high for AI systems. Alas, that takes time, and you probably haven't got a website. What do you do? See, you need to learn how the AI systems crawl our information. Where do the AI tools get information from about you? And how do they make sense of it to say what you do, what you don't do? How do they show your answers to people's questions? This is what we're going to teach you in the masterclass, where you will become the definitive AI answer. The masterclass is on the 4th of June, and it's on Zoom. The information page is on LinkedIn. So Christina Segato and I are going to teach you step by step how to create content to answer people's questions that AI tools actually crawl, categorize, and show to people who are searching for people like you. Don't miss it. See, what you do today with this answer engine optimization is going to build your online presence for the next 20 years. Don't sit there wondering, what do I do? Don't sit there thinking, oh, I can't be the answer to people's questions. You have to be. We all have to be. Do you remember when the internet started? They said SEO is important, and you said, oh, well, that's too complicated. Now those people who invested in SEO in those days and the top rankings of websites. Today, you can build for the next 20 years. That way, you can be the answer to your client's questions. Go and book your ticket now to join us on Thursday, the 4th of June at 7 p.m. British Standard Time or 2 p.m. Eastern Time. See you there. Here, I know some of the dangers, but still, we must learn to use AI properly. So replacing our brain to the AI is not the answer. That's not the way AI can really help us. Learning to use AI to really make a difference in our business, which means getting more visibility, which means getting more, more ideas and more solutions for people. That's what AI is really there for if we learn to use it the way we should, right? Look, the link to buy the Answer Engine Masterclass tomorrow is in the comments, so do check it out. I'd love to have you there. Part of my crusade is to get people to really benefit from how AI can help their businesses, which means helping our customers more. Unless you learn, are you left behind? Who knows? Maybe, right? Chances are. But let me not beat the point up not too much today. If you get a DM from me end of today saying come to the masterclass, don't be a hater. You can just ignore it, or you can buy a ticket. Take your pick. If you really want to talk about it, then let's talk about it. That's what I was saying, right? The link is there for sure. So look, I will thank everyone that's joined us. I'll thank Coach Sean for being a legend as always. I'll thank Nikki. I can always rely on you, Cyrus. I can always rely on you. Of course, Dr. Roxanne, I can always rely on you too. Paulette, I'm grateful that she joined us. Margaret, with her new guides and books about parenting. She's there as well. So I thank you all for giving us your time. Everyone in the comments, Coach Ashif, Jay, Angela, many more people. I can't thank you enough. I can't do the shows without you, right? But you're the true stars that make my life much better. Without AI, with AI, in the midst of AI, I don't know, all of that, right? Look, enjoy your night. I think Stanley's event, Our Thinking, starts in an hour and a half. If you want to join us for that one, you can do. If you want the link, just DM me, I'll send you the link. But enjoy your night. Thank you so much, everyone. Good luck with your new app, Jay. Good luck with your new app, Coach Sean. Start send us a link so we can actually see how it works. That's what I would say to you, Coach Sean, for sure, right? Oh, I forgot to put the end video, but no, we'll live. Thank you so much. Enjoy your night, all. Say bye, 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 bye.
And he sees you. He sees you. He sees you. Oh, from the children with no voice in borrowed rooms to the